everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. The autumn vibes are vibing. It's fall, like American people say. So I thought we could do a good old fall book recs, some book recommendations for the autumn time, because I believe that some books and some genre of books fit a season more than the others, you know. For me, like, autumn screams like fantasy, dark academia, it screams cozy. So we're gonna go through some good old book recommendations for the autumn season. Have a big stack, so let's talk about all the books that I think you should read this autumn. And I know exactly what book to start with. I'm gonna start with the book I'm reading as we speak, and it is Alchemist by Youuuu. You've seen this book everywhere on your For You page, and I know this is everywhere, and if you haven't read this, you're probably having FOMO. This is perfect. October, November, this is it. Like, this is what you want to be reading in October, November. I can't really hold it up for long because it is 1,000 pages long, and like, I'm not that strong. You don't understand how heavy this book. This is like a dark fantasy romance. It talks about Helena. I don't know how people are saying her name because I haven't seen any videos, because I used to call her Hermione. It's set post-war. There was a war, and there was two sides of the war. Helena's side lost, so she's a prisoner of war, and she gets sold to the High Reeve, to this man that is very scary, very mean, is like a killer, merciless killer. He's awful, treats her horribly, and he's still killing people from her side of the war. But one thing about Helena is she's missing some things. So when they found her, she was kept for 14 months in a tank by herself in the darkness, and she had no way to like move, see the sun. So she's kind of gone a little bit fucking insane, obviously, as you would. When they found her, she realizes that she's missing a good 2 years of her life. She's missing the 2 years prior to the end of the war. She doesn't remember things. She remembers some things, but she's got like memory holes, and she doesn't know who did this to her. She doesn't know how this magic has happened, who's done this magic to her brain. Now she's forced to be with this awful man and his wife, who's just as awful. And this book is like divided in 3 parts. You have part 1, which is this situation, and then you have part 2, which is flashbacks to finding out what happened to her and what was these 2 years that we're missing. And then part 3 is her back to part 1, but with her memories. This used to be a fanfiction. This used to be a Harry Potter, Draco and Hermione fanfiction, and it got traditionally published, and obviously now there's a completely different background, magic system, completely different, because obviously they couldn't use the Harry Potter ones. I had read Manacled, and I think Youuuu did an incredible job to make a completely different universe, make completely different magic system, and this is perfect for the autumn season because it's dark, scary, and spooky. And obviously there's romance in it as well. Look at it, like, you can like look at the vibes. This is the vibes. I would recommend. It's kind of soul destroying also. It's not the lightest read ever. Crazy, isn't it? A way lighter read that is perfect for this time of the year. I'm sure you've heard of this book as well, and in case you haven't read it, this is definitely your sign. It's Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is such a good book. I love it so much, and now the second book called Mate is out, which is on my TBR, and I actually can't wait to read that. It's like a paranormal romance. What is this? So you have Misery. Misery is the daughter of like the prime minister of vampires, and then you have Low, and Low is like the alpha of werewolves, and this is a marriage of convenience. There's an arranged wedding, and they get married. They don't know each other at all. They haven't even met really, and they get married to like have a coalition, to have like some peace between the werewolves and the vampires. I actually really enjoy Marriage of Convenience. Obviously, werewolves and vampires are very different, so there's a lot of differences between them. So they go from enemies to lovers. I think he was such a good male main character. She was hilarious and witty and smart, and like every time she was a woman in STEM, because this is Ali Hazelwood. But there is another element. There's an element of like mystery, because someone that Misery cares about so much, her best friend, disappeared, and she can't find her. And she thinks that marrying Lo will help her, will get her closer to finding out what happened to her. It's such a good book. It's so Halloween, it's so autumn, it's so spooky but fun, and the romance is top notch. This will get you out of a reading slump so quick. I was in a reading slump when I picked this up last year. Boom, out. So fun and easy to read. Had a great time. I'm really looking forward to reading Mate. If it's just as good as this, I'm down. Next book is such an interesting book that I haven't seen people talk about enough at all. We have Julie Chan is Dead. Now this book is... What is this book? It's a mystery thriller. It's a weird book. It's kind of like... What the fuck? That's the vibe of the book. So we have two twin sisters, Julie and Chloe. Julie has a normal job. She's literally works in a supermarket, has a miserable life, barely makes it at the end of the month. Chloe is an influencer, extremely famous, extremely loved, extremely rich, with a lot of followers and a lot of brand deals and a lot of money, huge house, you know, all of that. But they are estranged. They don't talk to each other. They haven't seen each other in years and years. They look exactly the same because they're identical twins, but they were adopted by different families because they lost their parents when they were very young. So they lost contact. Chloe's really not a nice person. Julie and Chloe don't really speak. One day Julie gets a call from Chloe, which was very odd because it never happens. Chloe is saying something that she couldn't understand fully what she was saying. So she kind of got worried and decides to, you know, get the train and get there, get to her house. She knows where she lives. They don't live in the same city, so she has to travel to get there. But, you know, it didn't sound good. She couldn't understand a thing what she was saying. It sounded like she wasn't fully, like, conscious. So she goes all the way and goes into the house. The door is open. She goes in and Chloe is dead on the floor, on the kitchen floor. She has obviously a moment of shock because what the hell? She doesn't really know her or really have any sort of relationship with her. But at the same time, it's still like, you know, your dead sister on the floor. In this moment, she's about to pick up Chloe's phone to call the police because, you know, obviously. And she realizes that she has so much power because, you know, she has access to her bank account. She has access to her social media with all the followers. And so in that moment, she decides to fake her own death and pretend to be Chloe. So now she is Chloe and Julie is the one that is dead, when actually it's the opposite. So she has to be able to lie to everyone that knows Chloe, lie to her friends, lie to her family, you know, her adoptive parents, lie to all the followers that are so like obsessed with Chloe, that see her every day on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok. And she has to be able to pull it off, to be a good influencer, and she's never done this before. And at the same time, she's trying to find out what the fuck happened to Chloe, because this is a young girl that was all of a sudden dead on the floor. What happened to my sister? Who killed her? And it's so addictive. The beginning, I was flying through. It's not a long book at all, but at one point, it gets so weird. It gets weird. And I was there like reading, I was like, there was one scene I couldn't believe what I was reading. But I actually would strongly recommend this. It's not really my usual genre of books. I'm not really a weird book kind of girl. But this, I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop reading. I couldn't put it down. I read it in like 3 days. I recommend this for this time of the year. I think this is perfect. It's spooky, it's mysterious, it's fun, it's weird, it's different from anything else I've ever read. And I don't see enough people talk about this. So I think this is the perfect time to read this book. A very famous series that I'm actually in the middle of. I'm on book 7 out of 9. I don't even know. You probably already guessed. It's Zodiac Academy. This series is just a fun fucking time, okay? It's not a literary masterpiece. It's not incredible writing, an incredible plot. It's like a trashy reality TV that you can't stop watching, and it's 3 a.m. and you're like, oh, just one more episode. That's how it feels. It's 3 a.m. and you're like, oh, just one more chapter, and you can't put it down. It grips you from the beginning. Romantasy, dark academia, kinda. It's silly, it's stupid, kind of cringy at times, and kind of cliche. I'm not really selling it to you, but like when I tell you, you can't stop reading. It's the quickest book you've ever read. Like, you're gonna read these books in like 2 days each, even though they're 900 pages, and they're just addicting. I really enjoy the romances as well, and I enjoy the characters and the friendships and the relationships between them. And at the beginning, it's kind of like a bully romance kind of thing. It starts with two twin sisters. Oh, look! Two twins again. Two twin sisters, and they are living their normal life in the normal world. Out of nowhere, this motherfucker comes in and he's like, girls, you are fays. You're coming with me to the Zodiac Academy, a university school kind of thing, to use their magic. Their first reaction is like, what the fuck? Who is you? Go away. Start to realize that it is true, they are fae, so they go to this academy. To be fair, they had nothing to lose because these two girls are orphans and they have absolutely no money. Turns out they are the daughters of the dead king and queen of this place called Solaria. So technically, they're royalty here, but like royalty hasn't been in Solaria for so many years that in the meantime there's been other people in charge, and there were four, like kind of like part of a council, you know, with four people. In the school there is the sons of these four council members. So these boys are kind of like mad at these girls because they're like, oh, we've been training and we've been like getting ready to rule one day when our parents step down for so many years, and then these two just come along and they want our throne. I don't think so. So they kind of hate them and they make their life so miserable and impossible. And so it's kind of like a bully romance a little bit. Yeah, there is two different relationships for the girls, and then there's other relationships between, because then there's a friend group, and these characters cannot get a break. I'm on book 7, and when I tell you they cannot get a break, things after things, and there's a lot of plot twists and a lot of like character developments, which I think is my favorite part of this series. Like especially the boys you end up loving as you go on with the series. It's such silly and stupid and fun and kind of cringy, but like it's so fun, and once again perfect for this time because it's very dark academia, fantasy, but at the same time you have a bit of romance, so it keeps you going, and very easy to read. Another book that really screams autumn to me is The Favourites by Lane Fargo. Now this is not really a thriller or fantasy, which is usually what I would like associate with autumn. Most of it is set in like cold weather, so in my head it's very autumny. I gave this book 5 stars. One of my favorites. One of my favorite books I've read this year. So good. Couldn't put it down. If you are a Taylor Jenkins Reid fan, I think you'd like Lane Fargo's writing because it's so similar. I'm gonna definitely read more of her books because this one was just exceptional. Our two main characters are Heath and Kat. Now this is very much a Wuthering Heights inspired. He's not called Heath for no reason. They grew up together. They were childhood best friends, and they became a duo of a pair of figure skaters. Their journey to success, their journey to the Olympics, their journey to fame. They not only become very successful figure skaters, they become very famous celebrities. Yeah, they were doing incredible skating, but they were just celebrities. They were famous. They were Hollywood stars. There's romance, there is betrayal, there is insane plot twists. There's so much drama, a full-on roller coaster. If you've watched Challengers, she gives Tashi vibes. Her love for skating was insane. Her drive to success was insane, and they feel like real people. You're reading this book and you're convinced they exist because they were so famous. They made a documentary about them. The book is documentary, and there's people 10 years later talk about them. It's almost like Daisy Jones and the Six. It's like Daisy Jones and the Six meet figure skating, meet Wuthering Heights. It's incredible. And Daisy Jones and the Six is one of my favorite books of all time, and this gives exactly that vibe. I loved it. One of my favorite books I've read this year. In case you want just a good old romance, I think this is the perfect option for autumn time. It's Great and Precious Things by Rebecca Yarros. You might know Rebecca Yarros from like Fourth Wing. I feel like that's her most insanely famous book series that she's famous for, but this book, so underrated. I loved it so much. This is a romance. It's like quite a heart-wrenching romance. So you have Camden, and Camden like 6 years ago came back from war. He was part of the military, he went to war, and 6 years ago he came back without his little brother. His little brother died out there. Camden hasn't been the same ever since he's been back. In the small town there's Willow. Willow was Camden's dead younger brother girlfriend at the time, 6 years ago. So she's definitely off limits because She was my younger brother that died in the war because of me, because he blames himself too. She was literally his girlfriend. I can't go there. So 6 years ago, when he came back without his brother, he left the small town because he couldn't bear being there. But now he's back because there's something going on with his dad. So now he's back after 6 years of not seeing anyone, of not seeing Willow, of not seeing anyone in the town, and everyone is so mean and so annoying. And yeah, so you have a beautiful love story, I believe, so well written, because the love story is kind of like the main plot, but really it isn't. Like, I think the main plot is his life and how he's gonna like deal with the grief and the fitting in, and his dad's situation, because also his dad blamed him this whole time for his brother, his love for Willow. But like, I think like, it's not a rom-com, it's just a romance novel full of like heart-wrenching, full of grief, full of betrayal, full of life, you know? It's such a good book. And yeah, it's one of those books that also I don't see enough of out there, and it's such a good one. So in case you haven't picked it up or you had your eyes on it, this is your sign, because this is such a good book. This is quite a popular book, I think, but like, such a cute, spooky, fun, witchy book. It's The Ex-Hex. Easy, short rom-com about a witch. And she's called Vivienne, an iconic witch. I fucking love her. She's funny. 9 years ago, she broke up with her ex. As a joke, she hexed him. She cursed him. The ex name was Reese, and Reese 9 years ago left. After 9 years, he's back. He's back in town, and some weird things have been happening since he's been back. It's almost like the curse is in action now that he's back in the town, and the whole town is affected by this curse that she set on him 9 years ago as a joke when she was drunk on vodka. Now we need to solve this problem. We need to fix this curse that we've set on him by mistake. And so it's a second chance romance. Not usually my kind of romance, but this is such like a superficial, easy, like mindless read, and it's so easy and spooky and witchy, and it's perfect for October time. So yeah, they have to put their animosity aside, their personal feelings aside, to work together to fix what's going on in this town. And they go on a journey to find a solution, and it's quite fun. It's easy, it's funny at times, and it literally screams October, Halloween. And it has a second book. I actually own it, and I think I'm gonna try and read it this month or the next. If you like it a lot, there's more. I haven't spoken about this book in a bit too long, and if you know me, you know this is one of my favorite books of all time. So it was time. It was time. We're bringing her back. It's Masters of Death. First of all, just the name, it gives Halloween, it gives spooky, it gives scary, even though it's not really a scary book at all. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I think it's genius. I love Olivia Blake. I love her writing. We have different main characters. One of the main characters, genius. His name is Fox Demora, and he's a medium, and he is the godson of death. Tell me that's not the greatest thing you've ever heard. Like, what do you mean, Fox Demora, medium, godson of death? I love it. Then we have Viola. Viola is an estate agent and a vampire. Obviously, she has a problem. She's trying to sell this house, that's her job, but she's struggling because there's a ghost. There's a ghost in this house asking for help. And who do you ask for help when you have a ghost problem? A medium. Duh. And then the whole thing happens. They start this huge quest that neither of them knew they were signing up for, and they involve other people, other characters. You have an angel, you have a reaper, you have a demon, you name it, it's there. And at the same time, there's 3 love stories happening, and they're all completely different love stories, but at the same time so good. I cannot put into words how much I love this book. It made me laugh, it made me emotional. Some of the best quotes I've ever read are from this book. Always happens with Olivia Blake. Her characters are always, to me, like the best written, layered, multifaceted characters. I love it so much. This is one of my favorite books ever, and I could talk about it for hours, so I need to stop. Another perfect book for autumn time, I think it's the reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. This is a YA thriller mystery, perfect for this time of year. So we have Belle. Belle is 18, and she lost her mother when she was only 2 years old. Her mother, Rachel, disappeared when Belle was only 2 years old. And since then, it's been such a big topic. It was such a famous case. Everyone talked about it for so many years, but you know, it's been 16 years now, so they stopped thinking that she would ever come back. She was obviously presumed dead. It's such a famous case that people still talk about it and still want to know about it. So there's a true crime documentary being made about Rachel Price again. So Belle gets interviewed, her dad gets interviewed, you know, her grandma and all of that. Out of nowhere, Rachel Price reappears. She comes back out of nowhere after 16 years in a horrible condition, and like her version of events make no sense. There's sometimes she says one thing and sometimes she says completely different things. So Belle at first is like, I don't really trust you because one, I don't know you. Yeah, like I don't love you. You like, yeah, you're my mom, but like I don't remember anything about you. I don't know you. I don't even remember you at all because I was only 2 when you died. And, you know, and she keeps making up stories about what happened in the last 16 years. So she's going to use this documentary to find out what really happened to Rachel Price. It's eventful. It's YA, so literally everyone can read it. I mean, we know that Holly Jackson is a great writer, so you can't really go wrong with her. Very quick read, very easy, very thrillery and mysterious. There is a lot of lies and there's a lot of betrayal and there's a lot of like hiding, and I actually did not see it coming. I did not predict what happened to her, and there's a couple of plot twists that I didn't see coming, so this is a good one. It's a good one for this time of year. I was gonna try to make one video on my channel without talking about Cassandra Clare, but I decided not to. Why would I do that? A book that I think would be perfect to read this time of year is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. If you somehow are subscribed to my channel and you still haven't read any Cassandra Clare book, this is the time. Autumn time is the time for you to start your Cassandra Clare journey, your Shadowhunters Chronicles journey. The first book that you'd have to read out of all the Shadowhunters book is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I love the series so much. I love this universe so much. It's one of my favorite universes of all time. I've been reading it since I was 13. I read this book I was 13. So I've been here so long, literally half my life almost. This talks about this lovely girl called Clary. And Clary is a human, a normal girl, ordinary girl. And she lives with her mom, and her mom has a boyfriend. Something happens to her mom. Her mom disappears. She's taken by someone. And she finds out this whole world that she knew nothing about because her mom tried to shield her from it because it's not safe for her. So she finds out this world of Nephilim, of Shadowhunters. And she finds out that she is herself a Shadowhunter. It's all about finding what happened to her mom and finding out who is this Valentine guy that took her. And in all of this, she gets into this institute and she's like found and helped by this group of people, by some Shadowhunters, and one of them is the very notorious, very well-known Jace Wayland. Let's say that. It's very difficult to choose what to call him. So it's a romance. It's a story of friendship. It's a story of magic and danger and mystery. What happened? How can we save her? It's the beginning of one of the best universes ever made. This is the Mortal Instruments series, but then there's the Infernal Devices. It's one of the best series ever made. You have the Dark Artifices, and then you have the Last Hours. And then next year, there's going to be the first book of a new series, Last Shadowhunters trilogy, which is very sad. I think this is the time for you to start this huge journey. It's YA, in case you didn't know. Jace is one of the best male characters ever made. So sarcastic, so funny, so confident, but with so many layers added to him. And obviously she has a best friend called Simon, who's an icon. Love him so much. And Jace has 2 like siblings, Izzy and Alec, who like literally got him in when he was very young, so he considered them his siblings. So yeah, this group of people that don't really know each other, completely different group of people, everyone is so different, become such a found family that I love so much. I think I should stop because I have been filming for hours and I need to stop because I would keep going forever. I think autumn is the best time to be reading books. It's the time where I read the most and I'm like more into the books I'm reading, so I should really stop talking. Let me know what books you think are perfect for this time of year, because I want book recs from you in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much that you stayed until the end. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps so much, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. I love you very much and I'll see you next time. Ciao.